Okay, students, good afternoon. I am very tired. My eyes are tired. I'm feeling tired, exhausted. So I've decided to do this video for my students to give you an idea as to how your trace table should look for your SBA. Now, trace tables can vary, in terms of where you set the columns, whatever sequencing, you know, all of those things, because it's really dependent on your program. I've taken a liberty here to look at an extract of a program that I showed you guys written in Pascal. Remember, you are not going to be doing your program in Pascal. It's another language that you're using. Alright, but it's a general idea. So I worked this or designed this trace table from this program. This trace table will vary depending on the program in terms of how you design your program. Right, but there are a few basic rules you need to pay attention to that trace table. Alright, these are the three basic rules. Not set in stone, but generally this is what you have to do. But first of all was a trace table. A trace table really, it's a manual checking system. It's where you want to check your program to make sure it's giving you the right output. For various reasons. It could be simply calculations, you have multiplication instead of addition, or order of operations. It could be anything. But you want to check to make sure your program is giving you the right output, the right answers. So hence, a trace table is used to do that. Basically, what you're preventing is logic errors. Logic errors wherein your computer program is giving you wrong output. Syntax errors, different kind of error, is when you are breaking the rules of the programming language, so it won't compile, it won't run. Usually that's what happens when you're having syntax errors. Alright? But in this case, using trace tables, we are speaking toward logic errors, preventing logic errors. So let's get into this now. Three basic rules, right? Keeping it simple. My feeling cannot tired and sleepy, so forgive me. One, always use the variable names in your program as your column headings. So if you notice the variable names, B count, E count, G count, tot, tot B, tot E, tot G. Alright? So these are the headings that you use in your program. Alright? Tot B, tot E, and I should have tot G here. See? So it's good to check things over, right? So these are my column headings. Alright? I also have in my program other variable names as in tot, short for total, tot B, tot E, tot G. So when I go and check my trace table, I have tot B, tot E, tot G as in short for total. Total Boxfield, total exchange, total Great Pond. That is how I wrote the program. Alright. So these basically is my trace table. Fine? Good. Let's get going. So these are the costs. Everybody incurred a cost. But depending on where you fall, it may incur something else depending on where you are in this trace table. Let's get going and see how that works. So for exchange. So here's what we do. This person is in exchange. So the first thing is that exchange has a total now of 1,000. Fair enough? Not anywhere else. This person lives in exchange and we are totaling based upon exchange. So because one person is entered in exchange, so far E count 1. One person for exchange. Why? Because in our program, this is what we said. Let me go to exchange. Tot E, as in total, is going to be equal to the total for exchange plus total, right? E count is going to be E count plus 1. So we're not going to be adding 1 each time to E count depending on where we are. So let's go again now. Now we go to Great Pond. 2,500 for Great Pond. So it's 2,500 here. And we count 1 for Great Pond. So this will be G, should be G count. Tell your boy. When you're tired, you're tired. Alright. So that is where that is. Alright. Now let's continue. Alright, we're going to the third person, Boxfield, right? So the total for Boxfield for this person is 500. For Boxfield, and for B count is 1, because these are the first person entered. So one person entered the box field so far in this row, and in the second row or the third row, but the second row of our trace table, because these are heading names up here, headings. So in the second row of our trace table, we have this person entered the first person for Great Pond, and so far one person entered for exchange as well at $1,000. Let's continue. But here we find again somebody else has entered in box field. So we have tot B equal now 2,000, right? And now 1 plus 1, this becomes 2. See that? This is the second person entered now. Now a third person is entered again in box field. So the total, oh sorry, this should be 2,500. My mistake. Because you add the 2,000 to the 500. Alright, so it becomes 2,500. Because you're adding up as you go along. Now in box field again, we have an additional $1,500. Says 25 plus 15, that should be about 4,000. Right? And a third person is now entered in box field. That is how that works. We're counting for box field. And let's continue. Is there anybody else in box field? Let me continue coming down here. Then now we have $2,000 again. The last entry for box field was 2,000. So the 2,000 plus the last total of 4,000 is now 6,000. Right? And the last amount of persons entered, the last total for box field, that was a person entered, was 3. So now we have one more, which is 4. So let's go and do some checks now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 persons. At the last entry, 4 persons entered for box field. Alright? Now let's go again. Since we're getting a feel of this now, let's pick up the pace a bit now. So we have, let's work with exchange. So exchange one person's entered, that's 1,000. Let's come again. Exchange another person's entered for another 1,000. So 1,000 plus the 1,000 here, this 1,000 already there, plus one more 1,000, that's 2,000. Right? And the other person's entered, one previous person's plus one new one, that is now 2. Alright? And then in the last row, no, here's another one here before the last row. We have 500 entered here for exchange again. This is now 2,000 plus 500. This is now 2,500 for exchange. That's too much. That's 25,000. And it's now plus one more becomes 3. So that is where it is for exchange. And the final entry for exchange now 1,500. So the last total we had for exchange was 2,500 plus 1,500. So this becomes now 4,000. And is adding one more, it becomes 4. So this is now 4 persons for exchange. Sounds weird, but let's check it and see. 1, 2, 3, 4 persons for exchange, right? And this is their total. So if you add up all the totals for exchange, this is where it now stands. Let's now do Great Pond. Alright, so Great Pond is 2,500. Let's continue down. We have one more person here for Great Pond. 2,500 plus another 2,500 is now 5,000. Alright, and there's another entry for Great Pond. So one person first and another person entered now becomes 2. And unfortunately, there's nobody else left in Great Pond. So this is our trace table, almost complete. Notice I said almost. Why? Because we cannot have all of these empty areas that we see here now. That won't work. We can't have all of those empty areas. Let me just extend this out so it looks a little bit more civilized. So format this to currency as well. So all you have to do now, students, is do this simple task. Alright, so far nobody was entered here. So 0, nobody was entered before now, and then 0. Alright, and then the last person enters were 4,000. So it's 4,000 coming down all the way. This is the fill handle and pull this down. Alright, alright, so it's 4,000 coming down all the way until it reached 6,000. The other person was entered. Alright, for Great Pond, and where it became it's still this, right? Boxfield, and Boxfield is other person, Boxfield. So therefore Boxfield plus this person that was entered, 6,000, right? So it's 6,000 here. The last entry for box field was 6,000, all right, and that's it. And then, since we're doing B count, the last entry that was 3, so it's 3 continuing all the way down till it got to 4. Then the last amount entered was 4. All right, let's go again for a second time. For exchange, the first row of 1 person entered for exchange. While box field and grade pan might have been accumulating, exchange had nobody. See, no exchange here, so none until we got to this. So there's a 1,000 coming down all the way. Oh, let me put the zeros here. 0, 0. All right, there's 1,000 coming down all the way. Then here, the 1,000 became 1,000 plus 1,000 became 2,000. Then there was 2,000 here. Then another person from exchange added 500. So we replicate this 500 down here because exchange never moved during that time until it became the 1,500 plus the 2,500 make it 4,000. That is where we are with that one. So the exchange E count is 1 person all the way down here. So Great Pond might have moved, Boxfield might have moved, but exchange wasn't moving at this point. So that is why we have 1, 1, 1 coming there. Then it increased to 2, so therefore 2 is also there. This should not be formatted. Let me reformat this so there's no $sign. Format cells, general, okay. Alright, and then we put 3 here. I know, let me just do a short away here. Format, apply formatting. Alright, now for here, so for Great Pond, nobody was here in Great Pond, so it's still 0, right? Nobody here was here either, so it's still 0. Alright, so we can continue now. When we have 0 for Great Pond plus the 2,500, it became 2,500. Then we continue to pull downward because nobody was being entered. So the rate continued to be the same. Then it was 2,500 here plus the 2,500 for Finky Plunkett. So what we did was to add the 2,000, last 2,500 here, so that had been carrying forward to Finky Plunkett, and it became 5,000. And the 5,000 was now brought down to the end. Alright, because nobody else was updating for Great Pond. And we can replicate the same thing down here. It was only 1 person, while all the other districts or parishes were still being updated. Great Pond was kind of lackluster, still falling behind. No updates there till it became 2, and then this is what it is. So there are only 2 persons for Great Pond who entered in the program based upon we ran it, and it was 5,000. And for exchange, it would have been 4 persons that were entered, and it was 4,000 in total. And for Boxfield, it was 6,000. Whoa, get these big figures. 6,000 in total for Boxfield, and 4 persons entered. So this is how the trace table looks. I should change the formatting ID so actually say the number, because this won't work. Format cells, and I want the numbers to be represented. Let me see, none. Click OK. Oh, currency. I want the zeros to be there. We format this a bit. Format cells, accounting, sample. What is this? English, United States. Let's put just general. Okay. I'll just work it like that. Alright, leave it as that. And just apply the formatting here, over here. Just save myself some trouble because that seems to be giving me too much problem right now. Alright, I still feel kind of luggish and sleepyish. So this is basically how you do your trace table. Now this is the complete trace table. Now as it relates to your program, let me copy this and put on another page. If you want to do your algorithm, alright, you wouldn't need var. Let's say start at beginning, and then of course you end at end. There's still more down here, no? I tell you. Alright. This video will not stay up very long. Alright. Copy. Let me copy it and put it to a new page. Alright. Paste. Alright. All you're going to do, let me remove this because you won't need this. Var. You're going to need to begin, yes. You can simply say loop 10 times because you're basically doing a pseudocode. So you say loop 10 times pseudocode, and then you can say you'd get the person's name. It's a get person's name. Sure. Get the person's name, right? What is going on with me, man? Get patient's patient's name. Alright. And then you can remove this as well because you won't have any read comment. Alright. Get the cost paid by patient. Alright. Get the cost paid paid by patient. Alright. And then we'll probably just say here, and then get the district. Let me do it this way. S is from, and then you'd go here and say if district is box field, if box field, right, then you say if, oops, look how I spell if box field, then I'll even remove this confirming. Then it says simply add one to box field. Add one person to box field. Jeez, man, how can I make so much mistakes? Add one person to box field. Alright, remove that as well. Just the calculations, and then you'd say on the cost too. Yeah. Then I say add the cost to box field. To box field district. Alright. And then I say if you want to get, if you say else too, if district is exchange, then you just repeat this, right? Repeat that I see up there. Add one to exchange. Add one to exchange. Exchange, and of course add the cost to exchange as well. Add the cost to exchange. Exchange. And now is the car coming. Let me stop pause a minute. Alright, so you add the cost to exchange. You continue again, and then you say, alright, oops, if the district is, what do I know, Great Pond, then you simply add one person to Great Pond. Add one person to Great Pond. And then you'd say also add the cost to Great Pond cost. The cost to Great Pond. Great Pond's cost, right? Because the costs are based upon the district where you're from. And then you simply end your pseudocode. Alright, this is one simple way to look at the pseudocode right away. Just a general idea as to how to do the pseudocode, and then you're done. Begin, and that's it. You should also write a statement up here, right, about what you're trying to solve. So you can read your SBA, summarize the question into a statement, or put a statement in a more succinct manner, and then put it there as to a statement of the problem. All right, and that is it for your pseudocode and the trace table. I hope you understand it, guys, because I'm really exhausted. I've been pushing class with you guys from Sunday. We have class, and it's not just you alone. I'm also working with the grade 10s and other persons, so I'm really tired. I hope you can appreciate it and just go through the video. If you don't understand, you can talk to your classmates as well. Remember, your SBAs are due tomorrow. This is the only part you have left to do. We have checked through everything already. Database, spreadsheet, Word, your web page, your programs. We have gone through those things already. This is the final part you have to do to wrap up. Because I know we went through trace tables already. We went through Pseudocode already. But I understand the state that you're in. You're not the COVID situation kind of playing psychological games with students right now, and teachers too. So this is the best I can do for you right now. Follow this paradigm, this rule, this protocol, and you will be fine. You'll receive your full marks. All right, young people, have a good day. God bless you.